I'm delighted at the fact that Craft Scotland has opened our first partnership exhibition with Royal Botanic Garden Edinburgh. The exhibition space lends itself so well to showcase the work of Scottish craft and Scottish makers.
Well, what this show really demonstrates very well is the diversity of craft, but diversity is also very important in the natural world, in living things, and that really applies whether you're talking about individual species or whole ecosystems. And the reason that diversity is so important is that it allows systems to change in response to changes in the environment, so it allows things to survive and adapt to future conditions.
Craft Scotland constantly finds new ways to use craft to reach out to different audiences, and one of the things that we're most excited about working with the Royal Botanic Garden Edinburgh is the fact that we can engage with a new audience, and what better way of doing it than to use biodiversity as a theme. This is a new way of working for Craft Scotland. We've never issued such a huge challenge.
In the natural world and within living systems, diversity is absolutely crucial. Without that diversity, those living systems can't adapt and respond to change. And one of the alarming things at the present point in time is that human activity is placing immense pressure on the natural world. And recent research, for example, has suggested that perhaps as much as 1 in 5 of the 400,000 or so plant species that exist on planet Earth are threatened with extinction, and that's all down to human activity. So measures to try and halt and reduce those impacts are really crucial, and that's very much the core work that the garden is involved with in terms of trying to establish what plant life is actually out there. And a surprising proportion of the plant life that's out there is still yet to be properly documented, so it's an ongoing task for the garden to get to grips with the diversity of plant life out there.
Craft Scotland represents over 1,400 craft makers living and working right across Scotland, from the borders up to the Highlands and Islands and everything in between, and we're very proud to represent such a diverse group of makers. The making of craft in Scotland is particularly exciting, and I think Scotland is a really unique nation that stands outside of everything else that is happening in other nations with regards to how they can respond to their natural environment and the biodiversity of the world that we live in, both in Scotland and wider afield.
The exhibition, I think, is a great showcase for craft and diversity of craft, but also what we've sought to do is to weave within the panels that form part of the exhibition some information about the work that staff here at the garden are involved with. So we've got statements from scientists and horticulturalists that give a flavour of the work, but are also written in reaction to the maker's work. So they give an insight into the work that perhaps the maker themselves wouldn't have had. So I think it adds quite a lot to the show.